How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a special guest with us, and he can say his name and what he's doing and all that sort of stuff.
Cool. Hey guys, my name is John Leahy. I'm the creator of tour booking app Bandgogh that is going to be released in October. I also am a tour booker and a local booker, and I do a lot of other things in the music industry.
Awesome. So, John, my first thing is you talked about the app, and obviously a lot of this channel revolves around talking to bands, across the states, across the world. So, what do you hope to bring with this app? I was really stoked when I heard about it. Shout outs to our good friend CJ. He's the homie. But he had mentioned me to you a little while back, and he was saying, "Oh, John's starting an app." So, what do you hope to bring to bands that maybe they weren't necessarily getting from a Facebook group or something like Bands in Town, things of that nature? What do you hope to bring and change with the industry?
Yeah, man. So, I've been thinking about this app for about, I want to say a year now, and the biggest problem that I've always had with different booking websites, I'm not going to name drop anyone because I'm not that guy, but with different booking websites or different Facebook groups and Facebook pages, my biggest problem with all that is I feel like it never really attended to each specific person, because it's not really possible to do that. Now with this tour booking app, it's compiled of all different connections and resources for these bands to use completely free of cost, and it's going to kind of initiate a platform for them so they're able to do everything by themselves yet still have the resources in order to do that.
Yeah, it's a very DIY. I've always appreciated that about people that do that sort of stuff, because I feel like it's so hard with the industry. If you're not on a label, it's harder for you to get stuff. So I've always liked that, and when I had heard about it, I was I'm on board. I think what you're doing is trying to really make a community out of it, and really kind of get people to enjoy doing that sort of stuff, because I know bands that I've talked with, friends that I'm friends with in bands, they always are saying, oh, it's a huge headache, sometimes I wish it was a bit easier, and I think the really cool thing about it is that for me, as somebody who does media, it's easier for me to get other people from other states to find out about my stuff, and maybe vice versa. And also, just so that it's not cluttering up my Facebook, because that's the one thing that I have a problem with doing stuff on Facebook is that I will get a ton of stuff on Facebook, but I'll also get pictures of my cousin's dog. It's just the two are totally different opposite ends of the spectrum, and so I think it's cool that you're kind of consolidating it to that. And what made you want to do that? To what really spurred on the idea of I want to do an app for bands, and so that everybody kind of collectively meet under one roof?
Yeah, man. So I think kind of very similar to what you were saying about how when you go on Facebook or any social media that bands or different services within the music industry solely use, it's really hard to kind of differentiate and just split your personal life with your career. And I feel it's the type of thing that's with this app, the way that people that aren't really into the music industry, the way that I describe this app to them is it's obviously it has the directory aspect, but there's a whole entire separate aspect which is very oriented similar to Facebook and the way that Facebook works, but the only difference is this is solely for people in the music industry. So I guess the reason I wanted to create a platform like this was because I've seen so many bands struggle with booking. I've seen so many services struggle with branching out, whether it be their fan base or getting the data that they need in order to get to that next tier. And I think that was a problem that I ran into, because before I started doing tour booking and I was just in a band, that's the problem that we always ran into was we didn't know how to book ourselves. We didn't know how to do X, Y, and Z. We didn't know how to set up interviews like this. We didn't know how to do any of that. So now what I'm trying to do is take all of the knowledge that I have and a lot of other mentors of mine that I've gained over the years, and just kind of, like you said, just consolidate it all into one, and then just blast it. So basically it's me just giving everybody the resources that they need. And I'm hoping it kind of over time, there's one feature of the app where every member of the app is able to put their information and their knowledge and their connections within the app on the directory. So it's really just, I'm kind of like kickstarting it, but as things kind of, continue and evolve, my hope is that the people that are using this app are able to put, their knowledge and their connections in this app as well. Because at the end of the day, I feel like there's a huge misconception in the local scene, and that's the musicians are very, I don't want to say selfish, because they're not. I'm a musician myself, and I don't want to say that I'm selfish, but I feel like a lot of people are so caught up in what they're doing. So, and because of that, it's a lot harder to look at what everybody else around you is doing, because the biggest thing here, like you said earlier, is building that community aspect, because that's the only way you're going to actually get to that next level. That's the only way you're going to progress as a musician or as a service.
I think what you're trying to hit on was like it being competitive. Everybody's like out for somebody else. It's like, okay, well, if it's not about my band, like, or it doesn't relate to my band, like, why should I care about John's band, or why should I care about CJ's band, or why should I care about anybody else's band except for myself? And so, I've always felt this, even with Audio Addiction, that it's not who you step on to get to the point, because like for me, it's like I never know on the receiving end, like I don't know who I don't know who somebody else knows, and so I don't want to screw up that possibility that like, oh well, John can get me this guy, and like I have no idea that he can get me that, but if I'm being nice to him and we're having that same sort of exchange, then it works out, and it's like, wow, that's like he's doing something for me and I'm doing something for him. It's not like me just trying to go for John's throat. It's like, okay, he really wants the best for me, and I certainly want the best for you. So,
and I'm happy that's your mindset, because that should be everybody's mindset.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be doing things for yourself, because you're going to end up screwing yourself over if you do that. It's about having a genuine connection with everybody in the music industry that you meet, because that's the only way you're going to get to the next level. Like I said earlier, like you need to act like you have quote unquote made it now. Be genuine to everybody that you meet, and then over time, all the connections that everybody else has, it'll just come all together. It'll come full circle for you, because as more and more as you branch out, and as much as you just build your connections like all around full circle, it doesn't matter if they just started yesterday, if their band just started yesterday, or if they've been doing it for 10 years. Everybody has something else to offer, and I think that's the biggest thing here. Everybody has something to offer. And I feel like once you make that connection with somebody, even if it's just like a friendly, like, hey man, like I'm supporting you, or whatever the case might be.
Exactly.
And once you have that relationship at least set in stone, then, they'll build off you over time, and you'll build off them, vice versa. So I think that's the biggest thing that people kind of look over in the music industry, is like, we're not against each other in any of this. There could be a million more people that make it by tomorrow. It doesn't, the number doesn't matter. What matters is that you're slowly building up, and you should have that community aspect to it so you can build up.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you're kind of facilitating that. Definitely Audio Addiction and myself are behind that sort of thing, so I appreciate it. But you have some tour dates coming up. What are you hoping to like accomplish at that, and like what can people expect at these events? Because I know that you have some things you're going to be talking about, like beta, stuff like that. How has the process with the beta been? I guess you could talk about just the events first, and then how the beta is coming along after that.
Yeah. So in mid-September, we're going on like a little 7-date beta tour on the East Coast. We're doing 2 PA dates at Chaplin's in Spring City on the 14th and the 15th. And then we have the next weekend, we're going to New Jersey and New York. And then the weekend after that, we're doing North Carolina and 2 dates in Nashville. So basically the way that all of the beta shows work is we have 2 local bands from each state that we're at. Cool. We bring them on. These are just bands that I've either worked with over the years that have hit me up because they're interested in the beta, whatever the case might be. But we bring them on, we have them perform. We are trying to bring in guest speakers from each state as well, just people that are more looked up to in the industry. Like, I can't name drop yet, but by probably tomorrow, if not like the end of the week, we're going to have the guest speakers for the 15th at Chaplin's release, and I'm really looking forward to announcing that, because they're two individuals that are really good friends of mine, and they've helped me so much in the music industry, and I feel like they're just really looked up to in general. But yeah, so that's basically the way it works. Is we're going to have guest speakers, a couple local bands, and then in the middle of it, I'm going to do a beta presentation just talking about the features of the app, how it works, what the goal is for long term and all that. And then at the end of my presentation, we're giving everybody a code so they can go on their smartphone and type in the code. I think it's going to be like, you go onto like the Apple Store or like Android App Store, I don't know what that's called. You go onto whatever app store you have on your phone, you go onto it, you'll be able to like type in a code, and then you'll be able to like see the beta like right in front of you, and you'll have it before the official version comes out in October. So, and then in October we're doing another tour, an official release tour, which this is the first time I guess I'm announcing it, but we're doing a countrywide tour once the app actually releases. So, yeah, that's the gist of it.
That is sick. That is definitely awesome. That's cool. Like, I think the beta, I'm excited to check out the beta as soon as I get it. Is it going to be something where you're going to want to get feedback from the people that are using it, either at the event or like just afterwards? Is there going to be some sort of like, I guess, like data bank for people to like say like, oh, well, maybe you should try this, or like something like that? Or is it just going to be kind of like amongst your team that you're going to do stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing here, as I'm trying to instill that community aspect in the music scene, I also want to do it just with the app itself and how we're building up with the app. So right when we release the beta, I don't know how exactly we're going to go about it. We might just give out sheets of paper with like different questions on like their experience of the app, whatever the case might be. Yeah. But we're definitely open to input. I've gotten I get hundreds of messages a day now solely for the app of people either giving me a lot of shit or which is like I love it, it's funny, but they're just like random,
it's
like,
haters. If you have haters, you've made it. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm getting a lot of messages of people who are genuinely in support of this app and the idea of this app, and who are giving me just input even before anything comes out, and I love seeing that. A lot of people will text me and they'll be like, oh, like, I'm not trying to be annoying, but you might want to incorporate this into your app. I'm not sure if it's already there or not. And I love that. I genuinely do, because it's people from all around the country. And the fact that like it's not a huge thing yet, but the fact that we're getting messages from people on the other side of the country, it's great. And I love it, because literally any feedback that we get, we're going to take into consideration. So that's the way that the beta is going to work. Is once we drop it, we're going to just open it up. I mean, my team's going to have things that we want to change ourselves, but then we're just going to open it up and say, what do you like and what don't you like about the app? So, and then we can hopefully prep a little bit more for the official version that comes out in October. And we're having like monthly updates to it as well. So I'm sure we'll get everybody's perfect idea down the line.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Definitely, like, if I haven't mentioned it 1,000 times, I'm really stoked on it, because I think that, for me, it's like, I've always tried to consolidate my personal life away from audio addiction, so it's always nice when there's other things that allow me to do that. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
that's really cool. I'm stoked on it. I guess let people know, where they can find the app once it happens. Like, obviously you have some dates, which I will leave in the description. But just tell them about, like, what's your vision for the app, like what people can expect from it, what you hope people get out of it, and just kind of like end thoughts, and just obviously links to your social media and stuff.
Of course. So, I think the biggest thing I want everybody to get out of the actual release of the app, and just if they attend the shows, I think the biggest thing I want them to get out of that is just knowing that this is a community. I know I've said like 100 times already just in this 10-minute conversation, but I want everybody to think of this as like just a community coming together. I don't want it to be something like Reverb Nation or Indie on the Move, even though they're fine websites, but
yeah,
it's like that, where it's more so like they're giving it to you and you're not really connecting with others. I want this to be, I want the idea released here. Sorry, my phone is being annoying. I want the overall message of this is I want everybody to be able to come together and just help each other out. And even though we are giving different contacts between bands, venues, promoters, and all these different services within the music industry, I want everybody to still connect with each other. We have a whole entire aspect on the a whole entire feature on the app, which is just a news feed, and it's supposed to be very similar to Facebook. And our goal and our mission is to have all these different services connect with each other and just build up off of each other. But we have a lot of cool stuff coming that I haven't announced yet, and within the next couple weeks we're going to be dropping some cool endorsements that we have, and some other things that we're launching. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. We don't have Twitter because Twitter is too mainstream, so we don't have Twitter. But so Twitter and or not Facebook and yeah, I guess you know what Twitter now. Facebook and Instagram are the two main social media sites you can find us at. We're also starting a Spotify with our good friend CJ. He's going to be curating that, and we just announced that. Well, he just announced that today. Bandgogh has yet to announce.
I feel like it's just played up. It's like it actually is not happening. He's just like I'm going rogue.
It was funny because we talked about it yesterday. We were getting coffee and we talked about it. He was like, "Yo, like, can we start like a Spotify for Bandgogh?" I'm like, "Sure." And then he texted me that night. He's like, "I'm going to announce it, but don't have Bandgogh announce it." And I'm like, "All right, I got you." So it's gonna be really cool. We're just trying to meet as many people as we possibly can. I know I'm only one person, but the whole entire reason that I'm going on this tour is to meet as many people as I possibly can and just build relationships with different people. Plus, I want to get out of PA because it's getting. Yeah, that's all I got. But yeah, app's gonna be available, and we're thinking early October. But I hate giving a solid date, so I'm gonna say sometime in October it's going to be out officially.
There we go. Well, go check out John's app, Bandgogh. As I've said thousands of times, he's been put on to me for a few times now, so I just want to give him some love. So check the links in the description. Go find out about Bandgogh. Go like their page. Go follow their updates, because I really feel like, and I'm not trying to plug him at all, I just feel like this is the next thing for artists, people who do stuff in the industry. I've always found that it's hard to mix that business and pleasure aspect, especially with the doing the YouTube thing, and also I can imagine for people who do PR work and all that stuff, it's just tough to separate those two things unless you just have that friendly sort of interaction. So this is going to be a really cool thing to see, just music related stuff. Maybe I'll just get rid of Facebook entirely. I don't know, probably not, because Facebook has me by the neck. But definitely go check out Bandgogh. Seriously, it's cool stuff. If you can go out to the events, if you live in the tri-state area, please come out, because it's going to be sick. I'm going to be trying to go out on Saturday, so I'm excited to see the app. I'm excited to have it in my hands on my phone and be like, this is the shit, or it is shit. One of the two. You'll find out. I'll give you that live reaction. But go check out John's stuff, please. And if I know he does booking too, so if you have any booking things, let him know too about that. I gotta give him all the plugs, So John's my boy. So go check out his stuff. And if you enjoyed this very interesting interview / promo thing, like our page, subscribe, do all that good shit. Really appreciate it. And thanks to John for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming for a minute.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate you, man.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.